Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, we are going back to a bunch of beautiful video games. Why is that? Your boy got hooked up by the brother-in-law, something fierce. My man had my back big time here. So, the story. Basically, my brother-in-law is starting to shrink down his games collection, and he's the one I connected with most when I first met my wife, just by being fellow nerds and sharing game interest, and he's teaching me Magic the Gathering now and all this good stuff. But anyway, he's getting rid of a lot of his collection, and so he dropped off a ton of it on Thanksgiving, and I was combing through everything, and I found some ones I liked, and I texted him a picture and said, hey dude, like, how much do you want for all of this? I would happily buy this off of you. And him being the swell gentleman he is, told me $50 is fine, then ended up trying to offer it to me for free. And then I talked to my wife, she's like, just give him $50. And so here we are now with an insane haul in an impromptu video that I just wanted to show you all how much he hooked me up. I was really excited about this because so many of these I didn't have in my collection, or I stupidly sold when I was younger and wanted to have back. So I want to share with you all easily the best deal I've ever been given. And no doubt my brother-in-law will be getting hooked up with a nice Christmas gift because he's hooked me up pretty well here. So let's start off strong, shall we? Superman 64. I want to do a Remembering the Superman games video at some point. At first I was like, yeah, this is trash. As you can see, it's literally in awful condition, fittingly so. I know this is like one of the worst games ever, but like I said, I want to do a Remembering the Superman games video with the new movie coming out soon. And of course, we need to talk about one of the most infamous superhero games of all time. I've also never played this game because I've watched all those reviews on it. I was like, this looks terrible. So I get to try it myself when the new Superman movie starts to come out. But now, with that out of the way, we get into all of the good stuff. We do have one Vita game in this pile. He adores visual novels. I actually just bought him one recently. Like, he just finds all these obscure ones. But what we got here is Zero Escape Time Dilemma. I actually never had this one in my collection. Definitely my least favorite Zero Escape game. I didn't really understand why they went into this more three-dimensional approach for the game, and I think it has some charm to it. It's just too open-ended by the time it wraps up, and then the story's kind of left undone. It's a bit of a frustrating game in that way. Some of the characters are legitimately hilarious or very interesting, in particular, certain serial killers. I do like Zero Time Dilemma. I just don't love it. I just think it deviates too much from what made the previous two Zero Escape games so good. But to have it in the Vita collection, to just have a Vita game there in his massive stock, was awesome. But what he also had was a ton of DS games. And this one here, I couldn't believe it when I saw it, man. I couldn't believe it. The World Ends With You, and that's right, sealed. A sealed copy of The World Ends With You. I could not believe this. I only had the cart for this. This is one of my favorite DS games. I love The World Ends With You. The music, the style, that angsty early 2000s energy, it's beautifully captured here in a story that is incredibly memorable. Shout out to my boy Joshua. But to find a sealed copy of this absolutely brilliant game there, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, he just, on this alone, for the price I paid, really hooked me up. I'm not a sealed collector. I am probably going to break the seal on this, I'll be honest with y'all, because you know I don't buy and resell. This is one I'm going to take very good care of, but I was just so thrilled to see that there, because it's one of those things where I hate buying the cartridge only for certain games, but then hunting down the manual and everything it comes with is such a pain at times, because many times you'll go on eBay or go on Mercari and no one's really selling it. You just have to get lucky at certain times when people do decide to randomly list these objects you're looking for. So to just find this sealed, I was so happy. I was so happy. And hey, speaking of Zero Escape earlier, we do have 999 here. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. And this is one that, just to have the original copy with the manual and everything, is really great. I already have the Nonary games on Vita, so that comes with 999 as well as Virtue's Last Reward. If you've not played these games, they're like some of the best visual novels you can ever play. But to just have the original copy there is really cool. In case we ever do videos on Zero Escape, I have now the original copy there, so I can do the complete box experience. I was really pumped about that. And then this was an interesting one, because I'm a little bit behind on Metroid in some areas. I've played a lot of the newer releases, but what we have here is Metroid Prime Hunters. This one is complete in box, comes with a little slip saying if you like Metroid Prime Hunters, check out these great games. And it's promoting pinball, it's promoting Prime Echoes, it's got Mario Kart DS. I just thought that was cool that like a GameCube game was even being promoted in this thing. Nintendo Power Slip is in here as well. But yeah, again, just like really cool to see this here. A new story modes included in this. Again, I know very little about it, but it was one of those things where I went, oh, I definitely want this in my collection. Metroid is a tough find nowadays, especially for a good price. But we're going to be talking more about Metroid right now. I got some 3DS games as well. Let me grab both of them right here, because we have not only Metroid Samus Returns, which again, Complete in Box, or as Complete in Box is a new 3DS game can be, but also Federation Force, which I remember really got cranked online when it came out. This game is kind of pricey now. I want to try it out for myself and see what's going on. It says it also comes with the Metroid Prime Blast Ball, which I think is like a variation of like the pinball Metroid game or something like that. Samus Returns, I have played most of the way through. This game was way bigger than I anticipated. I think my expectations were in the wrong place. I got it for Christmas whenever the year it came out was, and I was playing it through and I was like, this game is so long. Nowadays, I would embrace this game a lot more because I played more Metroid since and understood what it was offering me. But at the time, Samus Returns really just made me tap out, but it's a brilliant remake. Love that. And to have Federation Force with it, just awesome pickups there, right? And those aren't the only 3DS games I got. I also got WarioWare Gold. It has 300 micro games included. I don't know too much about WarioWare. I played whatever's available on the Switch Online service. But again, this is also Complete in Box, as in, you know, it just tells you about the digital manual and where you can find it online, but it's in great condition. That was the other thing, like all of these were in perfectly fine condition, just no real case swaps were needed whatsoever, no dust on them at all. But WarioWare is just full of mini games, and so I was happy to add this one to the handheld collection, because I was actually, funny enough, recently looking at my DS and 3DS collection, and my DS collection is nice, but my 3DS collection is a little barren and missing some of those key features like the Metroid games, like WarioWare. So to get them all in one fell swoop and kind of address some of the gaps in that collection was really nice. We're going to be bouncing around between a bunch of consoles here. What we have now is on the PS5, Sifu Vengeance Edition. So if you're wondering what this comes with, we're actually going to see in real time. I just love Sifu, so I asked for it. I was like, hey, can I get this too? But we have here is some awesome art. This game is absolutely brilliant. A ton of awesome art here that it comes with. And then we also have, this looks like a art book. Yep, the art of Sifu. So get a lot of good stuff here on when the game was in development. So yeah, that was included as well. Some of these environments are so sick. And then we also have the steelbook for Sifu, which comes with the game's soundtrack and the PS5 copy itself. So yeah, like, I mean, super thrilled to have this. If you've not played Sifu, it's one of the most easy to pick up and replay kind of games. It has a very steep learning curve, to be very transparent. It has a steep learning curve and it'll beat the crap out of you. But by the time you get to the end of your first playthrough, you'll start to understand really truly what this game does with its combat that makes it special. And then you'll go for another run and another run. The problem is when you step away from Sifu for a while and come back, this game will humble you once more. But to try and make those perfect runs to keep Sifu young, it is one of the most gratifying challenges gaming can offer you. But to have the Vengeance Edition here from SoulCalibur, this is great. They were the developers of Absolver, for those who don't remember, which Absolver was an awesome game, but it was kind of just very surface level. And I feel like Sifu explores all the depth that combat initially presented. And again, just the mastery of it. That feeling is so great. But we have more Metroid to go over here today, because again, this is just like an unbelievable haul in general, especially for the price that I was fortunate enough to get offered. But what we have here is Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii, and indeed it is complete in box. So unbelievable there. As many of you may have seen with my Metroid Prime Remastered review, I am very much behind on that series as well. I do remember having Prime 1. I had the greatest hits copy for the longest time, but I struggled to understand the game at a younger age. I give y'all props who played Metroid at a much younger age, because those games are tough to navigate even as an adult. Like some of the navigation, just learning where your objectives are, where you need to go next, I had a tough time with, even with the remaster. I don't know if that gets better as you get deeper into the trilogy, but now I have the complete trilogy here, which is really exciting on Wii. I also have Other M as well on my Wii. So I actually don't own Wii anymore. I might have to break one out soon because that is the next thing I would need to pick up to enjoy these games. I think that is it for Wii pickups. Yeah, it's a lot of Xbox now. And some of this, again, was just filling in gaps. This is one of my recent favorites because I just played this for the first time like 5-6 years ago and never bothered getting it complete in box. And that's Halo 3 ODST. It does come with both discs, as you can see here. They're promoting Halo Reach as well. Like, what a time for Halo. But the Reach campaign, when Deference for Darkness kicks in, you're roaming in the rain. That campaign is special. Just that moving around those hub areas to your other missions, and the mission that plays the song like "We Are the Reinforcements" is just, my brain melts every time I replay that mission. It's so good. I miss this era of Halo so much. I try not to be, you know, like a Halo boomer too much, and I try to embrace what 343 is doing. I do like Infinite. 4 and 5 really didn't mesh with me, but this era was so special, and I love ODST. So to have that complete box, it's kind of there just for the collection. Now, yeah, I have Halo Master Chief Collection. I'll never play ODST on my 360 unless I'm just feeling really nostalgic and want to fire it up here on the CRT, but I don't really have any memories like that because I only played it in HD. But to have it there, easy pickup. It's one I've been meaning to grab for a while, and it's pretty clean. Same thing goes for this one. I had the Sigma version of it, but I know the 360 version's better, and that is Ninja Gaiden 2. I love Ninja Gaiden, and this does come with the very clean, as you can see here, sleeve, which is always good. Tough to find those, and that keeps this part of the copy very clean. But yeah, this comes with the manual as well. Really good condition. It's just, again, nothing makes me happier than getting used games and just feeling the cover and it's not covered in dust. I didn't have to clean up any of these copies whatsoever. But Ninja Gaiden 2, just so much fun. If you've not played the Ninja Gaiden games, do yourself a favor and kind of just pick them up blind. I think I'm one of the Sigma defenders. I don't think it's the end of the world if you play it that way first. Ninja Gaiden 2 on 360 is much more difficult, and the difficulty does define these games a lot, but you can still enjoy them as like fun action ROMs. And I'm even a defender of the re-release of 3 Razor's Edge. Ninja Gaiden 3 at launch was terrible, and I was so disappointed to see those reviews come out and give it like 3s and 4s. But Razor's Edge, I played it when it came to Game Pass through the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection or whatever. I have that on my PS4 as well, and it's so balls to the wall crazy. Some of the executions you can do, it's such a fun game to play, and it's kind of what I know Ninja Gaiden for, which is just ridiculous gore and execution. So check it out if you have yet to. But Ninja Gaiden 2 is like the creme de la creme. With Razor's Edge in mind, I don't think there's really an entry in this series I don't like. I don't know if that's a hot take, but let's move on before I deliver a too scorching hot of a take. What we have here is Deus Ex Human Revolution. This one also comes with the sleeve, which is awesome. You see here inside, we have the Square Enix members card. We have the manual here. This goes in the category of games I did not appreciate enough when I played them for the first time. I remember buying it, funny enough, for my 360, so it was really cool to have this copy here for the 360 because it's what I would have bought it for anyway. But I remember picking it up from GameStop and doing a partial playthrough of it and just thinking like the immersive sim qualities of it were whack, which is funny because I loved like Fallout 3 and games of that ilk, Dishonored. Like, I enjoyed those types of games. So for me to drop a Deus Ex, oh, let's throw BioShock in there, it was just really weird for me. And then I played it on PC in 2015 when a friend recommended it to me. And that was the director's cut of Deus Ex, which has the part on the boat where it takes away all your gear and adds like an hour or two to the story. And I hate when games do that. So that soured my taste. But nowadays, if you put this game in front of me and said like, this is coming out in 2024, it's coming out in 2025, I would be thrilled, simply because not enough games do the sort of things that Deus Ex does. So to have Human Revolution in the collection is awesome. This is one I've just gone against for a while because I've never been into like Jack Black or whatever, but Brutal Legend, wait, is it Jack Black? Is he in this game? Hang on. Holy crap, he is. Jack Black is actually in this game. I thought I was misremembering it, but I'm is like, I know it's weird as I grew up as like a 2000s kid, but like, is it weird to say like, yeah, I'm not like a big Jack Black fan. I feel like everyone loves Jack Black, but I'm just like, he's cool. Like, I don't have a problem with him, but just like what? Nacho Libre? Am I forgetting anything? I am, but you get my point. Is like, this guy has not had the sizable impact on my life that he seems to have had with others. So I was never really interested in Brutal Legend off of that alone. But many people have said like, yo, this game is great. You got to try it out. When I saw it there, I went, okay, this is the only way I feel like I would want to pick this one up. So whatever, let's give it a shot. It's rated M. I feel like this is a game that I would end up liking because it's definitely going to fall in that category of, oh, it's a Tim Schafer game as well, which is awesome. It's going to fall in that category of like, yeah, like this surpassed my expectations because I didn't know what to expect from it. Why do I say it like that? Because I think of my experience with Psychonauts. Funny enough, another Tim Schafer game. I remember judging Psychonauts 2, book by its cover, and Psychonauts 2 ends up being one of my favorite 3D platformers ever. So I'm going to give Brutal Legend a fair shake, but just a heads up for those wondering where my head was at. We have some original Xbox games here. We have one more 360 game. It'll be the final one I show off. Really, really cool copy here. I can't wait to show you that, but we'll end with that. We have Gauntlet 7 Sorrows. This reminds me of one of my best friends because he and my friend were talking about like sharing retro game collections at one point, and this was one he was considering giving up, and he had it on his PS2, I believe. But nonetheless, this is one of those like action RPGs, and you know me, like growing up as like an Untold Legends kid, anytime Champions of Norath as well, Champions Return to Arms, anytime I see a little action RPG like this, or like this one right here in Dungeons and Dragons, Heroes of Might and Magic, I believe it was called, or just Heroes. But this is another one, just action RPG. It's complete in box, and you know me, man, when I see this at the top of any video game on this system, it's a wrap. I buy it sight unseen. Why is that? Because I think the original Xbox has some of the best exclusives of all time. I love learning more about the random experimental titles the original Xbox had. So do not sleep on them. But yeah, I love having original Xbox exclusives all day, every day. All right. Next up here, the only Xbox One title we have is another Deus Ex one. It's Mankind Divided. I have never played this one because I remember people raving about it, saying how good it is, but then they complained about the ending. And since there hasn't been a Deus Ex game since, and there was a canceled one at one point, I've kind of held off, but I feel like it's been so long now that I may as well. This is, if you will, the modern day complete in box. It comes with the digital content, all these different slips in here. But yeah, I always wanted to play Mankind Divided, but again, the ending pushed me away. That's why I haven't, for those who are wondering, played games like Half-Life 2. Because everyone's like, where's Half-Life 3? I'm like, why would I submit myself to that sort of despair? That just sounds like I'm setting myself up like, yeah, sure, why not? I want to have a bad time. Anyway, we're at the end here. I saved what I think is the coolest for last. The best was probably all of the DS stuff, but the coolest is right here in the SoulCalibur IV Premium Edition. This is really nice. If I can get it out of this sleeve again, I might need 2 hands for this, but all right. So what we have here, as we get this sleeve off, this thing is on super snug, is you have this beautiful tin. Look at that, man. Like, that is so nice. We'll check out the other side. Just look at that. Oh my God. I love SoulCalibur IV so much. And then on the inside, we open it up. Let's start off with the top here. I'll have to do my famous scan shot because the camera is so close to the desk that I can only show so much of the image at once. But what you have here is a absolutely, let's take up the entire camera, absolutely beautiful poster. And then on the other side, you'll see here, I'll start off with the bottom. You'll see here is actually like the entire bracket. And I just realized I could use my other camera, couldn't I? Right, I'm recording this at almost 3 a.m., so pardon me. Oh, it's upside down. Could you tell it's almost 3 a.m.? Okay, here you can see the poster itself. Looks really cool. You can see Yoda's in it. Darth Vader's in the background as well. And then here on the back here is where you have like the champion, the tournament thing. So you see Vader and Yoda. I'm just mixing them up now. But yeah, that's a really cool one there. Definitely going to put that in the Retro Rebound set as I wind down for the holiday break. We'll get that going. Of course, there is a copy of the game in here. I already have a copy of this game, but it is complete in box, which is really cool. And then you have in here a little card I think it's for DLC. Yeah, it's the Premium Edition DLC. You have in here some other art with Yoda on it, which is just so cool. Like, what an amazing era for SoulCalibur. And then this is a really neat one, is you have a comic book with artwork in it as well. So it's a mixture of the two. So you can see here, like, all of the characters are in it. So I just thought this was awesome. I can't say like I am a diehard SoulCalibur fan. I would just say I'm a SoulCalibur 2 and 4 fan, but I adore this game. And so to have a really cool tin with that amazing poster, which I don't know if you could tell by just looking at it, but it's not like paper. It's like a laminated kind of feel to it. It's really good, but this is an amazing condition as well. I looked it up. Apparently online, this comes with a shirt as well, to my understanding. So I might want to hunt that down and see if I can get my hands on some of that vintage clothing. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything from the haul. So to just kind of quickly recap, you can see here all of the DS games and the Vita game I got there. We'll put that to the side. And then also here is all of like the Xbox and the one Wii title I got in Sifu. Just a lot of good stuff here. And then there's Superman 64. So yeah, shout out again to my brother-in-law. Just, you know, he literally tried to give it to me for free and said, like, your family, dude, it's cool. But like, just even $50, extremely gracious and super happy to have all of this in my collection. I couldn't believe it. I've never been offered an incredible deal like that before. I always try to just pay the market value and be fair out there. Like, even when I'm at conventions, you can wheel and deal a little bit. I understand people need to make some scratch off this stuff. So it was really awesome to actually like be hooked up on this level. So this is just really cool. I'm excited about all of these games. Again, can't get over The World Ends With You being in my collection finally. Got some Deus Ex going, Metroids, all hooked up from top to bottom. So again, shout out to my brother-in-law. Hope you all enjoyed this haul. I'm sorry for those of you who are having trouble spending money. If these recent haul videos and buying guide videos have been bad for you, I have horrible news though, is that they're not going to slow down as we enter 2025. But I wanted to do this before we get into a lot more reviews and just show you everything I picked up here. So thanks again to my brother-in-law. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.